Hello, Natty Casters. Rex, Ron, and I have known Mierka Girten since we all attended high school together at SCPA. As a working actress for over 30 years, Mierka has performed in countless theatrical productions, as well as work in film, TV, and commercials. On a recent trip to Cincinnati, my wife Tracy and I were able to see her in an amazing production of Birthday Candles at the Playhouse in the Park. And incidentally, we discussed this performance in a previous episode with the show's director, Joni Schultz. If you get a chance, check that one out, just in case you missed it. In this episode, Mierka talks openly and honestly about the impact a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis has had on her life, both professionally and personally. She, in fact, has previously produced a one-woman show delving into these issues, and mentions in our conversation she may be revisiting that show with an updated version. Mierka has the full support in that effort of all three of us here at the NattyCast, and we will be the first in line for tickets, for sure. Before we start, we do want to let our listeners know that we do delve into mental health topics in this episode, including suicide. So if you or someone you know is in crisis, please call the U.S. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by dialing their free 24-hour hotline at 988. Outside of the U.S., please call your nearest hospital for local resources. You may also visit findahelpline.com for additional assistance. And now, here's the conversation with our good friend Mierka, a.k.a. Mookie, a.k.a. Molly Girten.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NattyCast. And now to your hosts, Tim Barker, Rex Stull, and Ron Thomas.
So let's just quickly.
What name?
Mierka, Molly,
I knew
Mookie.
this. Yeah.
Help us out.
M Square, I think. I'm joking.
M
Not
Square?
M Square.
Well, you can
But
just
you're going to have to give us. You're going to have to give the listeners the backstory on each, so we can understand.
That will take way too long. I think we should just say Molly, and then just be everyone calls me Mierka. Like professionally, I'm Mierka.
Okay.
But then
And
I'm going
friends
to
call
ask
me
you.
Mookie. I know.
I was going to say one of my later questions is where does
knew.
Mookie come from?
It's
This is the listening audience, girl.
You know,
Yeah.
we may
people wanna
have,
know.
but
So it's going to be
People wanna
Rita is listening, and who else will be
Both the
listening?
people, Brando's going to listen to the
Brando
episode.
and my friend Joni.
Yeah,
so
there we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
They already know.
the vice mayor of Cincinnati.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I'm sure she'll hear it.
Surprise! This is.
Oh, yeah.
We've got
Listen, I'm down.
We got a strange group of
Listen,
people that have
I'm
latched
down.
onto the NattyCast.
And you guys can just introduce me as Molly, and
Well,
then you can ask me anything about that.
It'll be better than the last time when you called me and I couldn't decide if I couldn't decide to say hello Molly, hello Mierka, or hello Mookie.
Well, obviously,
Hello,
we
Moon.
all know you as Molly from
Yeah,
growing up.
but
But like, we're modern people,
sure.
so we could, we can adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you, what do you prefer to be called? What would you?
It's so weird because I have not been called Molly in so many years until I came back here, and then everybody's like, "What's up? Are you Molly now?" I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, I can be, sure." It was like, because you're here, so you were Molly here, so you must be
Well,
Molly
talk
now.
to us about Mierka. Where did Mierka? How did
Molly and Mierka are pretty much the same name. My grandfather is Eastern European, so it's Serbian. So my name, Molly, would be Mierka.
Mierka? Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Did anybody, when you were growing up, like at home, did anybody call you Mierka?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And so then when you went off to college or whatever you decided,
I was auditioning at Wright State University, and there were two girls right in front of me. They were Molly's, and I was like, "Oh hell no, this is not."
there it is.
Right.
Erase. I was like, "My name is scratch it out, Mierka."
That's great because
And I was like, period.
There's no other Mierkas out there.
There, I mean, there are. They're just
Not
Polish, and they don't speak English. No, I just didn't. I was like, and then when I found out that my grandmother wanted me to be Molly because of her dead sister, baby sister, I was like, then I will never be Molly again as long as I live. So, but I still am. When I come home, it's like Moll.
Yeah.
Hey, Moll, what's up? But Mookie was from childhood. They would say she's a mook, which is a goofball.
Okay.
Here comes the mook. You know what I mean? So then it was Mookie. So that there are some people that only know me as Mookie and don't even know Mierka at all.
Okay.
So it's just
So
weird.
That's
even
pretty
growing up,
badass.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's
I should
pretty
have
cool.
changed my name to Mookie and just left it and just did that. And
Yeah.
I should have just done that.
And then it would have just been you and Mookie Betts.
That's what it's going to do a
Yeah,
Mookie Betts reference.
Isn't there a Mookie Wainwright?
Wilson?
Mookie Wilson, yep.
Yes.
Mookie
yes.
Betts.
Yes.
Yep.
And now, did you change to Trentafilo or did you stay with Girten?
I've always been Girten, but I use Trentafilo to mess with people and make them be really nice to me.
Oh.
I'm like, my name is Mierka Trentafilo, and you owe me. Yeah. Or
That's
if,
when you're going in and playing an immigrant of some kind,
something.
like fresh off the
or
boat.
like if somebody's really pissing me off, they'll be like, "What's your last name?" I'll be like, TRIANTA, and I keep going, and they're like, and I'm like, "That's right, that's my last name."
That's me.
And speaking
Mierka.
of the
Yeah.
names, if I can cut in for a second, a little bit of backstory, and I'm just curious if you remember, for my grandfather, of course, Rex's father's memorial, which thank you for participating in. We had a piece where you sent in and you introduced yourself. I'm just wondering if you remember, because there is a joke in there that we specifically put in because it made me and my dad laugh, and specifically for you out in the audience, where as you said your name and all the different versions of it, we lower thirded you.
Yeah.
Every different you got a name underneath them. One
They're all on there. It said
Yeah.
it was like Molly. It was like it was
yeah.
Mookie. It
I
was,
love it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, and the more
but I
we
think
can,
when it
yeah.
got to Mookie, it was like Mookie, and you put question mark.
Yeah, I was like, who? Yes.
And then I think it finally went Brando's husband or,
Yes.
or wife.
Yes.
Brando's wife.
Yes. Yeah, that's totally, yeah. I caught that and I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't.
That was just me and
yeah.
Matthew at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I love
It
it.
was hysterical. We were watching him because he was
who ca-
typing
yeah.
the names in, for the Chiron
Yeah, I was
piece.
like, who is. Well, because that's the thing. And like, as soon as I came back, your mom and your dad were like, your dad was like, I don't know what to call you. And I was like, how about amazing?
Yeah,
And he was
right.
like, but I don't know what to call you. And I was like, I get it. And then I want people to remember me from like when I talked to being back here and talking to kids from back in the day. I'll be like, I'm Mierka, and I'll be like, I was Molly. And they're like, oh, Molly. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You don't recognize my face, but you know that name, and that's cool. That's half the battle.
I don't know why people wouldn't rank. You literally look almost identical.
I don't know. I just think that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was so we did that joke at 3, and then Matthew was like, "Well, we can't leave that in." I'm like, "Oh, she's got a
Please.
good sense of humor."
Yeah,
I was
please
like,
leave
"This
it
is you can
I
definitely
giggled,
leave it in."
yes. I was more nervous about my mother-in-law came, and she was sitting next to me, and the video was showing. She goes, I don't know any of these people. And I said, well, it's not your memorial, so I think we'll be okay. And I was like, and Brando was like, Mom, just please. And I was like, blah, 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 blah.
You're our first. By the way, it'll be the first couple that's done.
Oh,
you and
yes.
is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you mentioned, I don't know, what did you say?
Serbian.
Serbia.
Serbian and Hungarian.
Now,
Yeah.
how far back?
My grandfather was born in Sarajevo.
Okay.
Yeah,
So immigrated.
Yeah.
How old was he when he came over?
I think 5.
And did you get any of that history,
No,
culture?
I mean, we wanted it, but my grandmother was I think extremely paranoid person and didn't want my grandfather speaking Serbian in front of all of us because she thought he was talking about her.
Oh,
So
so your grandmother was
no,
American.
she was American. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So that was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'd be like, "Oh, sure," and I'd be like, "I think you just called her a whore. That's awesome." But you know what I mean? Like, we didn't want to freak her out. But yeah, I think there were huge missed opportunities
And
there.
this was your mom's parents?
My mom's
Your
parents.
mom's parents.
Yeah.
And they lived till you were grown, or did you?
Yeah, they did. I mean, well, my grandfather died when I was 17, and my grandmother died, I think, like 10 years ago.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ron
No,
is.
it's okay. I know. Yeah.
Ron's all.
Because my grandfather would teach me things. You know,
Right.
I was the only one that wanted to know like what my name would be in Serbian.
And so you had siblings?
I have a brother, and he could have cared less.
He didn't care.
He was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, I'm a Girten. Like, whatever.
And what area of town did you
Okay.
grow up in Cincinnati?
West Side.
Okay.
I don't know that I knew that.
I live down the street from Angela Howe. If that gives you any.
I don't know.
We did,
I don't know.
we
Boot
did
Knot.
more than a couple parties over at Angela Howe's house.
I'm
Yeah,
sure you
yeah.
did.
It
Yeah.
was off of Boot Knot.
It
Remember that?
was,
Remember the
but-
directions?
Yeah.
So
Booty knot.
did you then?
Yeah.
Did you?
Booty
was
knot.
there-
Booty knot.
That was the
Did
directions
you-
that we got.
Where did you go to grade school, or then when did you? Wind
I went to
up going
Covedale.
performing?
Covedale
Okay.
Elementary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. By the Covedale Theater.
Yeah, yeah.
That is now a theater.
Yeah.
We had
Tim
her.
Perino bought that. I was there.
Yes, Matt. We had her on the
Maggie
on the,
Perino was
on
a
the show.
guest. We
In
just-
fact, yeah, her
That is so
episode airs
funny.
today. Actually,
You know-
it aired
Yeah.
today.
Oh my gosh! You know what's so funny is her dad. I used to do Cincinnati Young People's Theater during the summers, and he would. I was the only SCPA there, and I was very proud. And he would be like, "Okay, yeah, okay, SCPA, performing arts girl, blah blah blah." And then I'm like, his daughter grew up to be the artistic director, and I just want to grab him and be like, "Boo doo 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 doo," you know. But I have yet to see him yet. But I have not met her, but I can't wait to tell her that
Oh, she's
story.
really, she's great.
I heard she's cool.
And she's
Yeah.
just left. She's taking a job up at UC. She'll be a,
Right.
was assistant or associate dean.
Yeah, Dean. Yeah, I think she's handling all the young people programs and community outreach,
That
all
is
that
so
sort of stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
And her dad is awesome,
Yeah.
Tim Perino. I mean,
Fascinating.
yes. I played West Side Story down at Covedale. Wait, no, Young People's Theater at Westwood Town Hall.
Did you do any stuff on the showboat with him?
I didn't.
Because he ran the showboat, she
He
said, for
did.
like 20 some odd years.
I think Rebecca Finnegan did,
Right.
and I almost brought
Okay.
her today.
Oh, I would have loved
Oh, I would have loved to have
That
seen
would
her.
have been
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we could have done a little tandem.
But then Brando was
Yeah.
like, she'll probably want her own podcast. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, but we could
Tell
have
you
done
what,
like a
it'd
little
never be the
comedy
same.
routine,
I
the
know.
two of you
It would
together.
never be
I
the
know.
same.
It wouldn't- Yeah, but she
Yeah.
was. I was texting her. I was like, "I'm gonna do this podcast." She was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "You know what?" She was like, "Oh yeah, I have to go to the grocery store." And I was like, "But you should come and surprise him." She's like, "Yeah, I'm gotta go to the grocery store." And Yuri needs cat food.
So, I mean, here's the, right, we probably should, establish then you came to, well, that's where we all met, was the four of us met at the Performing Arts School. So
Yeah.
when did you come there?
I met Rebecca Finnegan in the 7th grade. She was sitting next to me.
Is that when you started Performing Arts?
Yeah, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I sat next to her, and she was drawing. And I was like, "Hey, what are you drawing?" And she was like, "Pictures of people I hate." And I looked over. I was like, "Oh shit, I know that girl, and I know that girl too." I was like, "Oh dang!" I won't say who they were.
You'll probably agree with me. One of the most talented people I think I've ever met in my life. Rebecca was
absolutely.
just amazing.
Phenomenal.
She and I, I don't think I could live without her. I mean, she's just,
She and I were in Sweeney Todd together.
well, that's when everyone wanted to cast her, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, you were so popular. She's like, not until after I got in the show. Before that, I was just a fat girl. And I was like, oh, dang, that's not even nice. But she said once that happened and people saw that she was talented, all of a sudden she was popular.
Yeah.
Even though I knew she could do all that stuff before that.
Well, that's what I was talking about at the school. The equalizer was talent.
Yeah.
And how did you find then? How did you find SCPA, or SCPA find you in the 7th grade? How did that go down?
I found it because I was at Covedale, and when after you go to Covedale, you go to Dater, and after you go to Dater, you go to West High. And my
Right.
parents were like, "You will never survive."
Is that the track is your brother younger or older than you?
My brother is younger, but he went to SCPA too.
Okay.
So we knew that we wouldn't have survived.
It wasn't for you.
I didn't have a knife, and I didn't
Yeah.
do cocaine in the 8th grade, and I was scared, and I was like, "Well, Mom, I hear that there's this performing arts school," and she was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh my God, we got to get you an audition." But when I auditioned, I was not cast. I was an art major.
Okay. I think Tim was as well, right?
Me
Tim?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to draw that turtle?
Shout out Mr. Brewer
What up? Yeah, I had Dr. Glover.
and
I
Dr.
loved him.
Glover. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have to
Bobby
draw that
Brewer.
turtle? Remember, it was like, draw a turtle. And there was like, I had it like, here's a turtle.
I think
Did you
mine
have
was a still life of fruit.
Yeah, I remember that, but I had to draw a turtle too for some reason.
So was Rebecca in art as well? Is that why she was drawing people that you could actually recognize? Because by the
Oh,
way,
because I was like,
if
oh,
I was sitting
there's-
there drawing people I didn't like, there's no way in hell you would have known who it was.
Oh, you would know who these people were. I was like, oh.
Well, Ron and I were nemesis when we first met as well.
That is so funny.
So Lynn Keith was our homeroom teacher, so we had the gym.
Yeah,
Ninth
upstairs.
grade. Ron started in the
ninth grade, yeah.
So we're all up there.
Yeah.
And it's me, and of course, because it's by alphabetical. So Thomas is there, and of course, Eric Chirantafilu is there.
Of course, did he have a bowl haircut like this?
Yes.
Yeah, he did at the
And we
time,
always
yeah.
grew up together. And so Eric's there, and he comes over and he says to me, he goes, "Man, there's this new kid there, and I don't think he has any food. I gave him my lunch. He doesn't have any food." And I looked over, I was like, "This guy is scamming you." And he goes, No, he really said he was hungry. And I looked over at him, I'm like, "Eric, that dude just stole your lunch and you just gave it to him." And he's like, "I don't think so." So for the longest time, that was Ron and I's thing. I'm like, "Dude, you're go come over and play in that mess with me." You did too. You took it off Eric. You could see him coming a mile away.
Oh, 100%.
But they hated those luncheons because Shelley would always make weird shit. They still talk about it now. They would make a sesame seed. Well, yeah, Brando said that she would be like bread, mayo, and peanut butter.
Oh, and they had that. Look, I'm sure it was good.
No, it wasn't.
No, for you was the end of that sentence. Maybe I don't know, but it was that that hippie peanut butter, with the oil sitting on top.
Oh
I
God,
would go to her
yeah.
house, yeah.
They still tease her now and be like, "Why did you make us eat that?" She'd be like, "Honey, that's a condiment, or you put with water." And they were just like, "What?"
But I have to give Shelley some credit. She was a little in front of the whole food movement thing.
totally.
Oh, yeah, she was
above
ahead of her
all of us.
time.
I mean,
I mean,
she was ahead of her time.
I love that woman
Yeah.
to pieces.
Yeah.
No,
She
I
was in
adore
front of
her.
it in a way that we just didn't appreciate. I think
She was doing matcha
Yeah.
before matcha
She
was
was,
cool.
but the funny thing is, like when they would go to Greece, they would go like on the beach, and the Greek family would be like, "Hey, we're gonna get like these sausages and these meats. Like, what will your kids eat?" She's like, "Oh, my kids won't eat that." And the kids were like, they're like frying stuff up, and the kids are like, "Can I please have that?" And she'd be like, "No, you eat that celery, Eric." And so they were like, we almost died.
They used to come over to my Italian grandparents' house, and
I hear the story.
Yeah, my nonna would say, she said, they eat it really well.
Yeah, eat it now, talk later.
That's
Yes.
exactly it. Eat it now, talk later. She said the Greeks, they can eat.
Well, because they were so hungry, because Shelley was their mom. She was like, "Here's a sunflower seed and mushrooms."
Okay,
We love
so
you,
now
Shelley's a listener, so we have to be careful. Yeah.
We gotta get rid of
Shell.
all that. No, she'll laugh. She will laugh.
So you get through, for the listeners out there, you graduate SCPA. Do you know what the next steps are at that point? Is Wright State?
Well, you switched to drama, right? At some point in time, you realized
I
you wanted
did.
to get on the stage.
Oh yeah, once I auditioned for what was it? What was that? I played Widow Piper. It was Babes in Toyland. I think I was I was still in the 7th grade. I auditioned, but I could sing really loud. Because I had practiced, and
Is
so
that with the
no, I
little
wanted to be a
the
singer.
callback
Yeah.
sheet said, "Sing
Well,
loud."
some kids
yeah.
could sing really well, but they were quiet.
right.
So I got up there, and
Like a young Ethel Merman.
yeah, I was like, Toyland. Yeah, it was like amazing. So I got the character as Widow Piper. And they were like, "Yeah, did you check the board? Your name's on." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And there was a board, and I was like, "There's my name." And I was like, "What do you mean I got to go to rehearsals at night? My parents are going to kill me. They're going to kill me." Because, you didn't get out till like 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night. But once we figured it out, but then you have a rehearsal, and I had to read out loud a character I'd never seen cold read. It was horrible. And Mr. Loiseau hated me because I didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
He was like, "You are lucky to be here." And I was like, "I drew a turtle. That's all I know. I drew a turtle, and now I'm Widow Piper." Like,
And
what
for
the
those
hell's going
listening,
on?
Mr. Loiseau is the artistic director at the Performing Arts.
Was back then the founding artistic director.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand the process.
But it,
The NattyCast is proud to have the support of the National Alumni Association of the Cincinnati School for Creative and Performing Arts. I am a proud alumnus of SCPA, class of 1986, as are my co-hosts Rex and Ron. If you have listened to our past episodes, you will hear the stories of other alumni and faculty who have shared their amazing stories of how the school impacted their lives. The SCPA Alumni Association is looking to reconnect classmates from over the past 50 years. and help to continue to find ways to improve educational opportunities for current SCPA students. From the Dare to Dream scholarships to simply spreading the word on class reunions, support for the association will go a long way in connecting the amazing community that is the SCPA family. Your annual membership fee of $40 will help support everything from the association's daily operations to alumni event programming. Membership dues for recent SCPA graduates are waived for the first 18 months. Visit us at scpaalumni.org to become a member, donate, or find other ways to get involved. Please don't forget to check out the official store for all your SCPA merch. Again, that's scpaalumni.org. And remember, as we celebrate the me yet to come, in time, we will all be stars. And now, back to the show.
What didn't kill you made you stronger, sort of situation?
It did.
Yeah.
It did until we were in dress rehearsals, and Eddie Adelman was like, "I love how they put that big giant fake nose on you." I was like, "That's my real nose." But thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
He knew. He knew.
He did know. I was like,
He knew. That's
But it's
Eddie.
the things that stick with you, right? Think about that. How old were you? Right? Some
like 12.
offhanded comment.
I was like looking in the mirror, and I was like, "Mom, is my nose big?" And she was like, "Yeah, you have your dad's nose." And I was like, "Oh shit." So that's all I thought about, was like this nose and how people think it's fake. Yeah, but I didn't understand. We always had cast A and cast B, and I thought that was really cool because
Wait, wasn't it P and A?
I thought it was 1 and A.
I thought it was P for performing and A for arts because A and B meant that one was better than the other.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, or maybe it was. You're right. It was 1 and A. Cast
and
1
A.
and cast
One
A.
and A.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't understand that, but I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later in life that really messed with my brain because the person who got my other role was a costume person, and I was like, "This is wrong." The costume designer be Widow Peru too. This is wrong.
Wow.
So to Tim's question then, so you're graduating. How does this work for you?
Well, I knew that I wanted to be an actor. Like once we got going there, I was like, that's the only thing that I'm really good at, and this is what I want to do. But I wasn't very smart to go to like a really good college because I was a very tired kid. I felt they kind of pimped us out a lot in music theater. Yeah. We made money for the school of friends, and so I was always tired and always had a hard time like focusing and getting my homework in the right time. And it wasn't until years later that I understood that I had like a learning disability and there was a reason for all that stuff. But my grades were not perfect. They were C's and B's, and I wasn't going to get in a fancy college. And so I was friends with we had really good counselors at school. Stephen Wright. Do you guys remember him?
I did not get
I
any
do.
good
I remember him, yeah.
So, I don't know.
I was like, I have to be an actor, but I don't have grades like this person or that person, and I don't have a lot of money. What am I going to do? And he was like, you should go to Wright State. It's like an hour away. And I was like, that's great. My parents will never come see me because they didn't want to drive anywhere.
They didn't want to drive from the west side to pick you up after rehearsal, right? So,
Well, you know what they say, Wright
they
State,
did.
wrong college.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But but Rebecca went there with me, and we had other friends. Maria Cervisi went there. There was a bunch of us that went there at first, but so it was far
and
enough.
they had this was a conservatory program, or it was
No, it was a.
They just had drama classes there.
No, I had drama and music, and it was very. It was
What
very
was your
cool.
degree? Like a BFA or
BFA.
a BFA?
BFA,
Okay, so
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then did you
So,
graduate there, or then how does
I did.
DePaul come into the...
I graduated from there, and I felt like I should do what these other people were doing and go to grad school. I had no idea what to do. I should have, somebody said to me, you should just go to LA now while you're young and cute. And that's what I should have done. But I went to DePaul because I was like, I should just learn more. I should learn
How
more.
did DePaul get on your radar?
Yeah, how did it get on my radar? I think that's a good question. I don't think I even remember how. I don't remember how that did.
And this
I
was
mean,
to
it's
get
very
the master's.
reputable. It's got a great
Yeah.
reputation.
It
you know.
was. I actually, what it was I wanted to be a Steppenwolf actor, and
course.
that was around the corner. So I was like, if I can get really, really good, and also get a degree, I'll be super smart, and then I can work at Steppenwolf.
And that worked out.
It's kind of in a weird way.
Well, before we get there, what was your master's? What's your master's in?
Well, I didn't make it through because I did my first year, and that's when that's when I couldn't. Well, let's see. In the spring of my first year, I couldn't feel my feet, my left foot, and I started falling, and I couldn't remember where I was or what I was doing, and I'd be on stage and pee my pants, and weird stuff would happen, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis after I'd seen like 16 doctors.
So this was your beginning, the first year you were doing your master's.
And
I've-
I did finish my first year because my fellow students would come and pick me up because I couldn't really walk very well, but they would come and take me to class because I was like, I just need to finish this year. Like, I just need to finish this year. And so we made that happen. So, and it was like, do I want to go back next year? Sure. My family came to get me in Chicago, and they're like, we're going home. And I was like, no, I can't go. Because I knew if I went back to Cincinnati, I would never go back.
Right.
So I was like, and my parents were like, but you can't walk very well. And I was like, I don't know. I just know if I leave, I'll never be an actor. So I stayed.
And so, I mean,
weirdest
this was
thing.
obviously some time ago, so the treatments were much more limited than
They were. And, I had called the MS Society at the time and said, I'm a young actor, blah, 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 all these things. And they said, you should learn how to do something else. You should definitely learn how to do something else because this is not, you're still young, this is not going to work out the way you think it's going to work. And I went,
A career in the arts, you mean?
yeah, or an actor.
Yeah, yeah.
Click, click, blue, and I hung up.
yeah.
And I got really mad. So, I just didn't stop trying. But it was humiliating because, you lose, I couldn't walk very well. I had to hold on to the side of the wall. And they're like, you're never going to walk again. And, you lose control of everything
Yeah.
that usually you don't,
But the thought is that, like, once this starts, there's no, because is it relapsing, remitting?
I
Is that-
had relapsing remitting.
but you didn't know that necessarily.
They told me that.
Okay.
But they also said that they had never seen so many lesions on a young person that could still walk.
Okay.
So, and that
So
was
I mean,
after.
the remitting was not going to be.
Yeah, they were like, we're not going to know how long. I mean, that's the thing about MS; it's different for every person that has it,
Right.
Because you have different lesions on different places in your body, which affect different parts of your body. So, no two people have it exactly the same.
And how soon could they have diagnosed this?
Well,
I mean, in reality, right? Because I was listening to somebody. Is it Christina Applegate? Maybe.
Yeah.
And she does a podcast with Jamie Lynn Sigler, who has
oh,
it.
does she? Oh, yeah, she.
Yeah. So they have a podcast where they quite, a lot of the topic is about MS.
Yeah.
But I heard one episode where she was talking about the feet again. That seems to be a fairly standard kind of first.
Yeah.
Like people going, wait a minute.
For some people, it's the fingers.
fingers,
Some
yeah.
people, it's your eyes. I just couldn't understand why my toes were numb. Like, it just didn't make any sense. And I went to chiropractor after chiropractor. I went to Chinese herbalists in Chinatown. I went to like some really kooky doctors that were like, "You're messed up." Before I went and got that MRI, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well you have holes in your brain." I was like, "What?"
So then, how do you progress from there? You just say your parents come to get you. You say, I'm not going home. I am going to be an actor. I don't care what the woman on the hotline said to me. So,
And DePaul is not. Are they, supporting you? Was it ever a thought to try and finish it out, given all of that, or it was like,
Well,
no, I'm just going to go my own way?
I was invited back the next year, but I was sort of like, if I'm not gonna walk very well for very long, I should be
Right.
an actor as long as I can, as fast as I can.
I mean,
I
I think
got
it needs
you,
to
yeah.
be clear to,
Right.
to
Yeah.
listeners here that this did go remitting much more than anybody ever said that was going to.
Oh
for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it was just the craziest I mean, it was just the craziest thing ever. Like, it got really bad before it could get better.
Yeah.
And Nikki Helms and Rebecca Finnegan were my roommates, and they helped me a lot as well. Because it's an invisible disease, so you don't really understand what's going on. But I would be like, someone has to help me wash my hair, and they'd be like, that's weird. Why? I was like, because I can't feel my fingers, so I don't know if I'm touching my hair. Am I touching my hair? I was like, what's happening? Yeah. And so it just got weirder and weirder, and then I could deal with it.
So what kind of time frame are we talking about? So how does it go from the time you get diagnosed and obviously physically you're suffering some really bad symptoms. So what happens? How does that?
Well, the symptoms never ever really go away completely.
Right.
They become manageable.
Okay.
And you learn how to deal with them. You learn how to, or I learned how to hold on to the side of the wall. I learned how to, if I'm on stage, I know that I could have a problem walking from here to there. So I'm going to ask the director, can I put my hands on all the chairs that go by so I don't fall? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you learn how to do these things that you never thought you would ever have to think about. Even now, like, I could not get up off the floor. I would have to use that and then go. I'd have to do all these things. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's.
But you're still on stage performing. I mean, Tim
Always.
just saw you.
I know. I was just going to say,
Yeah,
not to
I
put
just
the
saw
cart
you.
before the horse, but
Yeah.
you're seeing your performance in Birthday Candles at the Playhouse in the Park. I mean, you were phenomenal. And I would not, if I'm watching this performance, I would know nothing of that.
Thank you.
And we had your director in here who raved about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, she's sweet.
She's definitely a Mierka fan. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes, she's lovely. It just was the craziest. I can't explain how there were definitely something looking out for me with this disease because when they told me the things that I would never be able to do again.
I mean, if they're saying you're not going to walk, and you're saying to your friends, "Help me wash my hair," and then the fact that you're able to go on a stage and do a performance. I mean, something.
It definitely had a lot to do with the fact that I was mad. It had a lot to do with the fact that I did homeopathic care and what my doctors told me. I was on a drug called beta interferon at the time, which is interferon that I would inject in my thighs, arms, and my stomach every other day. And I was taking the same amount as someone who weighed like 300 pounds. So they really hadn't figured out a way to balance that. But it made me shake and feel like you had the flu. So I'd be like this all the time. And it was just so embarrassing. But I would go to auditions and be like this, you know, and people were just like, well, she's kind of weird, but she's shaky.
It was a choice.
Yeah. I would be like, you know, I'd be like, you guys, this is just my character. But, you know, for some reason I would still get cast. But the one part that I did get cast, and that was just the weirdest thing, was I got cast in the tour of the Secret Garden as the Aya, who was a Middle Eastern dancer. So because I had learned and worked so hard at balancing on one leg and, you know, balancing on the other leg and I'm standing on my toes, and I was able to do these Middle Eastern dances,
Oh,
you know, where it's like kind of like stand on
Because
my
you
foot.
kind of almost
Right,
had to
wow.
retrain
Yeah.
yourself about balance.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my goodness.
So I went and this, you know, and I was like the best one. I would be like, I can do this. I can pose like this, and I can pose like this, and and they're like, well, you're going on tour, and I was like, what? As a dancer, what? That's ridiculous. So I had to glue a dot to my eye, here. This was back in the day, you know, and I wore a sari,
cultural
and I
appropriation, right?
had the same costume that Audra McDonald wore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
because she was the Aya back in the. But and Rebecca Finnegan was also cast.
Oh, nice.
So we,
Oh, good,
so
good,
we
good.
went on
Awesome.
tour together.
Wow,
It was
good.
so
Which is
sweet.
kind
And
of
are
nice
you-
for you too, because you have a support then.
Yeah.
And are you being open about this? Because I would imagine as a performer, there's a crux with that. Were you being? Was that an open, known issue, or not even issue, but like how were you handling
disclose
that?
it, right? Do you
Right.
disclose it going in? Or
Well,
how's that work?
after I was cast, because I didn't expect to be cast, I said, I have to bring this this cooler with me because it has my beta interferon in it, and I have to shoot myself up every other day, and it's going to be weird, and I might throw up and be sick. And they were just like, "What?" And I was like, "I have MS," and they were like, okay, well, we don't know what you're asking us. I was like, I just have to have this cooler with me. And they were like, okay, fine, have a cooler. You know, like it was just weird. Like they didn't want to have anything. They didn't care. And it was sort of like, as long as you don't care, I don't care. But what I didn't know is that beta interferon at that time would give you suicidal feelings. Oh. So my depression just went, zoop, boom. It was horrible.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible. That was pretty shitty.
And what years are these? When are we talking about?
Well, I was not diagnosed 1993 on April 16th.
Okay.
So it had to be right after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was right after your diagnosis. You went on tour.
As a dancer.
As a dancer.
Which is and you can ask Jack Loiza who's the worst dancer in this room, and I bet you he'll look right at me. I was always the one that were like, just Girten, you're going in the wrong direction.
In the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I got you beat.
No.
I think I got you beat, girl.
Don't you remember when he would be like to Mr. Stahl, I'd be like, David, tell your actor to go in the other direction. And I'd be like, over here, and he would be like, Molly. And I'd be like, oh yeah, over here. Yeah, so it was very interesting. So I did learn, like, part of the reason why I was so clumsy, you know, why I was so messed up. Like,
well, a lot of these things you were making, like, were excuses or reasons up in your head, like, why is this or why can't I this? I mean, obviously, some of those things then start to make a lot more sense.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I can't do those things that everybody else does.
Right.
And, you know, I think that you can have MS or you can have a lot of diseases and things like that for a long time and not know it until something happens that it exacerbates it. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like it can remain dormant until something happens. And I think that transition from, you know, right state to Paul, like losing friends and things like that, like people went away. I had to break up with my boyfriend. I think that's what hit me. Yeah. That I was like,
all of those life stresses. Yeah, build up.
Yeah. Then where does the because I know you're a founding member of Red Orchid Theater, and they have done just I mean, they're nationally recognized and do incredible work. Where does that then? What's the origin story there?
The origin.
The Natty Cast is supported by Mad Cheese. Mad Cheese is a completely plant-based, dairy-free cheese and charcuterie shop located in Madisonville. The owners, Cincinnati natives Heather and Reggie Donaldson, handcraft over 30 different plant-based cheeses and meats in their commercial production kitchen behind the storefront. You're invited to stop in and sample the wide array of products, book a curated tasting, or sign up for the new subscription box program, which will feature an exclusive new cheese every month with recipes and board building tutorials. For more, head to Instagram and Facebook at Mad Cheese Cincy or go to www.madcheese.com. And with that, back to the show.
Story there is that while I was on tour, my mom was diagnosed with MS because her trauma was that I got MS. So she had it, and so when she went to...
Is it an inherited disease? No.
They said there's a 5% chance.
Okay, so...
But she went to the doctor, and her legs started going numb, and she started falling, and she was like, I don't know, but my daughter has MS. And so they did an MRI in her brain, and they couldn't find anything. And so later, what they did it again, her lesions are on her spine. Mine are on my brain, hers on her spine. So they're like, oh, you have MS too. And it just crushed me, like boom. So that sent me into a world of depression that is just like a whole other story and weird thing. But once I was back from tour and auditioning, I heard about, I wasn't a founding member. I was one of their first ensemble members that they invited, but there was 3 people who founded it. But but I just was like, okay, well, I have to audition everywhere in the world that I can. Even if I didn't know what the play was, I just went. But I was like, I don't know what the play is. I don't know who's directing. I don't really care. Here's my monologue, blah, blah, blah. And then I would leave and be like, there was one, and just see what happened. And they ended up liking me. And I was like, I don't even know who these people are. These are really weird people. And they were like, yeah, you're going to have to do this play where, like, you cut somebody's eyeballs out and you stab them and somebody's going to scream and somebody will die. And I was like, okay, cool. And then they'd be like, Mike Shannon, like, yeah. And then we'll go smoke at this bar. I'm like, rock on.
All right.
Let's do it. So I became part of a really groovy, creepy group called A Red Orchid.
So how does this progress for you? How do you realize that this is something you're going to be able to continue doing? That you're going to be able to find ways to make it through this, make adaptations for yourself, or?
Well, I wasn't thinking at that point that any of that. It was always, I should do as much as I can while I can, because I just always felt like my time was running
so
out.
You just kind of, I have a ticking clock.
Yeah.
So if I can do it today, I should do it.
I always had that in the back of my mind. Even though I was very healthy, I was strong, I worked out all the time, I was very, I did all the right things.
At some point in time, they adjusted your medication, this interferon.
Yes.
So
well, they had to, because it was making people jump out of windows, and I mean literally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we went on a whole bunch of other things, antidepressants. I mean, it took like 15 years to get the right cocktail, the right antidepressant, to keep me from, like, wondering, like, when I was going to die. You know what I mean? Like, what? But then crazy things started happening. The more I started talking about MS, I kept meeting more and more people with MS, or kids with MS, or other artists with MS, and that intrigued me. And I wrote a one-person play. There was a terrible version of it, and I won $7,000 as a grant. And I was like, well, shoot, what am I going to do with this money? I was like, I'm going to produce this play. I'm going to make it better, and I'll produce a play, and then I'll start a non-for-profit to help artists with MS called Mookie Jam. Now, it was really stupid that I named it after myself. And people were like, oh, so you named it after yourself? I was like, well, not everybody knows I'm Mookie, so whatever. So I got artists to come together and have a jam once a year. I got some famous people to come and do things, some people to donate art, donate their voices, their musicianship, to put on a show, and to give the money to an artist with MS that night.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Night. Yeah.
Is this still going on?
No, I did it for 12 years.
Okay.
And towards the end of that 12 years is when I started to feel really tired and exhausted. And I was like, now I think I have to take care of this artist with MS.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I can't do all this anymore. And it was a shame, but we raised over, $95,000.
Wow.
And this is grassroots.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Yeah.
me calling people saying, like, hi, will you play in my jam? And people would be like, oh, okay, So
My parents came and saw your one-person show. They said it was just amazing.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm rewriting it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
I am
cool.
rewriting it. I'm going to talk about some things that I didn't want to talk about at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, go a little deeper into some things. Because I never thought that I could stand seeing my mother in a wheelchair, and that's where she is now.
Right.
So I've kind of grown up with that. But also, full transparency, I am a suicide survivor, and I am, every day I learn about some kid who's killed themselves because of a terrible choice that they made. And part of the reason why I want to do my show again is because I want to show that the choice that I made was wrong. It was not a good choice. And had I thought about it clearer, or I probably would have found some other way to get help. And I didn't, because I didn't see that it was there. But I've lost so many friends to suicide over the past 10 years that it's just unbelievable.
Well, and I think just even the act of talking about it, right? It helps people just to hear somebody else
so.
say
Yeah.
it out loud.
I hope so.
Well, it's like anything. We stigmatize in our minds in society or whatever. We stigmatize so many things that the result is that people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously, if you're struggling like that, the first thing you're going to have to do is to be able to find enough to reach out for help. I mean, it's easy to, think, oh well, that doesn't make any sense. But in when you're in that mode, you have to at least find enough to realize that it's okay to go ask for some help and try to
Yeah.
get some help.
And I had found help in other ways. I had been in therapy for years and years, and I had done all this and done all that. But when my mom was diagnosed, that was it. I was like,
Well,
how dare you?
And let's be fair, we're chemical beings, and if you're pumping yourself full of stuff that creates suicidal ideations, that's not going to be helpful
At all. Yeah, so there was that. And then there was like my mom suffering. And then I was like, well, this wasn't supposed to happen to her. Like, I can be in a wheelchair, but she can't be in a wheelchair because that will kill me.
Yeah.
That will absolutely. So now she's like rolling around, and I'm like, I'm still alive. You can roll around, Mom, and I'll still want to live. No, I'm just kidding. It sounds like an after-school special. But, but I was lucky. I met some really great people. Michael Thomas, who he worked for Second City for many years. He's good friends with Tina Fey and Jeff Richmond, who's Tina's husband. He helped adapt my play, and it was very funny. So even though it's really sad, and I took a lot of pills and met Jesus on the bridge to Kentucky, there was some
Is
very
that the
funny.
title of it? Is that the title of it?
No, it was called With or Without Wings.
No, but
Oh, okay.
is the revised version going to be I met Jesus on the bridge of Kentucky? That's my.
That's a great
Isn't that a
title.
Pat Benatar song?
That's a great title.
I know. Jesus on the
great
bridge
title.
to Kentucky.
That's on the B side of Love is a Battlefield.
It's at least a country music song
It
that you
is.
can put.
Yeah,
I met
exactly.
Jesus on the bridge of Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew Tim was going to sing some backup, so he started he was like humming.
And we all know that your voice is at least loud.
That's right.
We've established that.
Oh my God. Well, the thing is, my mom was a photographer, and at the time she was of her diagnosis, she was doing an art show called With or Without Wings, because when she got diagnosed, her way of healing or whatever is she would go into these graveyards and take pictures of angels and hand paint them.
You mean like on headstones?
Black
or-
and white. She would take black and white photos, and she learned to hand paint the
I
photos.
thought maybe she actually was seeing actual angels. In
No.
No, okay. Well, on
That
the
was me
headstones,
later.
that was you. Right.
But she, so hers was called With or Without Wings, and so her show was called. So I was like, well, that's what I'm going to name my show, With or Without Wings, because I did fly over to Jesus on the bridge. I had wings, but that's a different story. But now I'm wondering if it should not be with or without contrast, because when you go to get MRIs now, they make you do the contrast.
Yeah.
So it's with or without the dye.
Right.
So, and I have to get an MRI every year, and it's always like, is it with or without contrast? And I'm always like, it's both. Do you know what I mean? So I have to do both. So when I get an MRI, my MRIs are usually like 4 hours long.
Oh, because you literally do one without contrast, and then you do the next one with.
And it's of my whole body now.
Yeah.
So I'm just, and they're like, please stop breathing.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid. But now it's just, I was like, should I go with or without contrast? And I was like, no, that's weird. So I don't really know what it's going to be called. I want to do more of a, unplugged version, because I'm older. I mean, this was in 2000 and long time ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm, 56 years old, and I can't run around like that. But I want to try.
I also think too, you have the added reflection that you like you said, you weren't able to even kind of process a lot of those things that were going on at the time, and you have now.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever maybe you've lost in, like you say, running around, you've gained in wisdom.
I have. I'll be like, I'm going to sit here with a guitar that I don't play and tell you a story. Blah, blah, blah. But no, Brando is going to write some original music. I mean, he did it the first time.
Yeah.
But it's aged. It's definitely aged. It's, it's goofy. But it's all about, living here, Cincinnati, the Paris of the Midwest, and meeting everyone at school.
You guys moved back from Chicago. Now it's been
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And that was due to the pandemic, or had you intended to do that?
Well, we didn't intend to do that. What happened was my mother's health was declining.
Yes.
And then we realized, hey, we've never been to baseball games of our nieces and nephews. We've never done any of that. We've always been just us, and we have family. So we were like, let's just go home. Let's just go home. Let's go home and see what's up. But I think because of the pandemic, we did realize that, which God or the universe has been trying to teach me forever, is life is really short. Duh. So you think I would learn that by now, but I was like, we just went through this really horrible time, and we should just be with our family. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Spend some time with our folks. So that's what brought us back, really.
Then you start making movies, feature films while you're there in Cincinnati.
Right? I mean,
I have to tell you, so we went to see, you invited us to, it was, I guess, the premiere of Bike Riders.
right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by all accounts, and I mean this in the best way, you have a very small role in that film.
Oh, yeah. Very.
And I will
There
tell
are
you,
no small roles,
Only small
Rex.
actors.
Only small actors.
let me just, I mean, I assume you probably saw it too, Tim. That is the most memorable role in that
Dude,
movie.
It was a very pivotal scene. Yeah.
It was
You know how
amazing.
difficult that is? You know how difficult that is?
Well,
Yeah.
but that role,
Thank
that
you.
didn't have any lines. Tell us how that role ended up having lines.
I did have lines.
You had lines?
They were
Or
like,
you
wrote
changed
one.
them?
Didn't you
Oh,
write one?
I
You
wrote
wrote
a
that?
line.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to understand, I don't do movies. So I don't know how they go. Like, I don't know.
But
how-
movies do you, girl.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
But I didn't know that I shouldn't say, like, hey, like, usually I'm used to working with playwrights and, like, working on new pieces and be like, what if I said something like this? And not because it's better than what they wrote, but it just, you know, I say, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And my son is still being beaten. There's something else I should say. So I was like, excuse me, Mr. Director. I feel like I should say, you're going to kill him because he's going to kill him. And he was like, all right, give it a shot. And I was like, oh, shit. And everybody was like, you don't talk to Jeff Nichols about rewriting the script. I was like, I'm just saying, like, that's how I feel. And he kept it. He kept it.
Nice.
It was,
okay.
like I said, I came out of that movie and it was so memorable.
Thank
it was
you.
so powerful in the movie, but you know, I was kind of just blown away. I'm like, how do you take something? There's no small act, but take something that really is. I mean, you were on screen for I don't know how long, not long.
Not long. No.
It was amazing. It's
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
Yeah.
The guy who played my husband, who's an amazing actor, his name is Paul Dillon. He's been in a bunch of movies. So he's a friend of mine. So I happen to like, I'm doing a show at Ensemble here, Ensemble Theater, a play called Sweat. And I went to this little bar afterwards because I knew the movie people would be there, the Queen City Radio,
Yeah.
because it was outside and they could all smoke their cigarettes and blah, blah, blah. And I see Jeff Nichols and he's like mad. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, how's it going? The guy who's playing your husband just like pulled out. He said he doesn't want to be a wife beater in another movie. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Do you know Paul Dillon? And he was like, no. I was like, look at this dude's face. That's Paul Dillon. And he was like, oh, he's got a great face. I was like, well, please audition him. Oh my God, please audition. He's crazy. And he's so good. And he's scary. And I feel like he would not hurt me on set.
Right.
He could really scare me. And
He could
I would
scare
be
you
safe.
without actually hurting you.
Right.
Yeah.
So they auditioned him and he got the part.
Wow.
And so Paul Dillon, I called Paul Dillon that night at like 2 a.m. I was like, Paul, what are you doing? He was like, well, I was sleeping. I was like, I'm here with Jeff Nichols and tomorrow they're going to call you and ask you to, and he was like, what is going on? And he was like, yeah, she's a weirdo. You know, Mook's calling me in the middle of the night about some project. And the next day he was like, dude, it's a Mike Nichols movie. I was like, I told you. And he was like, how did you do that? I was like, just told him at the bar he should call you.
Hang out with him at the bar.
Great.
Yeah.
So you're writing, casting, acting, all of
It was so fun. I was like,
That one was great. You know, my daughter started working on films, Hannah, and it was she actually did. That was the first thing she did was she was an extra on that movie.
she was. I know. We
Yeah,
talked about that.
right at that big I don't know drive-in theater fight scene. But she'd done that, and she met folks around there, and that's what got her. And she's been doing grips, things like that.
That's
Movie had a
amazing.
lot of, like you say, these
did.
tentacles that went out to get people into these other
It was crazy.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely led one thing to another to another to another. It was insane. And then the weirdest thing, because my friend Mike Shannon was in the movie too, so that helps too. 'Cause,
He's a
And how far
pretty-
back does your relationship go with Mike?
Let's see. Red Orchid is like maybe 37 years old. I think I've known him like 30 years probably.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, he's amazing.
He really is.
I mean,
I know.
he's like an amazing actor.
I know he is.
Whenever I see something that guy, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that guy in anything. I mean, you might be in a project that's not the best in the world, but his performance is just
gonna
always
kill it.
reaches out
Yeah.
and grabs you.
So he came in town to do Bike Riders. You know, he had texted Jeff Nichols and said, please watch Mierka's audition. And he was like, well, we already did. She's cast. And now she's trying to get us to hire this guy named Paul Dillon.
Now she's taking over the casting director's job.
Yeah.
Right. And then Mike was like, oh, he's a badass. You're like, yes. So, that's going on. And so I'm like so happy and so excited. I would do the play at Sweat. And Mike is coming in that night to film like in the next 2 days. So I'm doing the show at ETC. And Mike, we were texting and it just stopped. And I was like, I know his phone ran out of juice, and I know he's probably right down the street with Jeff Nichols and everybody else having a drink around that fire that they put out. Yeah. So, of course, I go over, and there he is, and there's Jeff Nichols, and there's all these people from set, and they're like, hey, my name's so-and-so, I'm Grip, and I'm this guy, and I'm that guy. I'm like, what's up? I'm meeting them. Like, this is really cool. And there's this guy who's really nice with his husband, and they're talking, and I sit down, and they're like, so what's your name, and who are you, and you're an actor, and what play? And Mike's like, this is so-and-so, and so-and-so. I'm like, what's up? And they're like, what show are you doing? Well, who wrote it and why? Like, talking to me for like a really long time. And I'm thinking, these are the nicest people in the world. Yeah. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, he looks really familiar though. That's weird. Whatever. And so we keep talking. And the one guy is French and he's a photographer and he's got a show over in Covington. And this is his partner, Michael. And finally I go, oh my God, you're the guy from REM.
Oh.
Michael Stipe?
You're Michael Stipe. Oh my God. And Mike Shannon goes, cool it, Mook. Cool it. And I was like, oh my God, Michael Stipe. So then I'm just sitting there really quiet like a weirdo. Then I don't talk and I'm like rocking back and forth. Because I'm sitting next to Michael Stipe and his partner. And then they're like, it's cool. And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't have anything else.
You're like,
to
I'm
say.
losing my religion, man. I'm
Yeah.
losing my religion right now.
Yes. So I don't know if you know it. He and Mike Shannon are good friends, and Mike has been touring the country doing REM songs.
Really?
And is the reason why Michael Stipe and REM got back together.
Really?
So yeah, that was really cool. So he's getting ready to go to. He's in London right now doing a play, and then
And maybe it all came from being around that fire.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm
telling you.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that they're going to play Cincinnati? Do you know? If
I've been
Michael's
begging.
band?
I don't
Shannon's
know.
band?
I've been begging, and I've been like.
Does he tend to do it on like where he's playing? Shooting. On
I don't
location
know.
kind of
Like
thing?
no, they toured different places for a while, and then he's in London doing a play, and then I know they're going to hit Ireland and Scotland.
Nice.
But every year they do a different REM album.
Oh, interesting.
So so it's just crazy. You know.
Have you ever been over to do the Fringe Fest in Edinburgh?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. People were trying to get me to do the Fringe here in Cincinnati, and I did write a play with an actor here, and it was called Artistically Bankrupt. It was called like
much went through my mind.
It was.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And they did invite us to do it, but then we got booked in something else. But I don't think I'm a Fringe person. I like to just do the show and walk away. I don't want to
I'm not.
It's weird.
You don't want to interact with the audience afterwards.
I don't.
I really don't.
I really don't. Well,
But a lot of those
it's great.
launch from there. A lot
Yeah.
of shows launch from there, though. You know?
Well, that's when I moved here, people were like, well, if you were writing your show, you should start with Fringe. I was like, no, you don't understand. I've done this play over and over and over again in Chicago.
Right.
I don't want to be in the basement of some school.
Do it at the shelter house, at the playhouse is where you should be doing it.
Where are you in the writing process? I mean, how far along are
Well,
you?
the play is written. The play is already written. It's done.
It's done.
But I need to add, I want to reflect on what I wrote.
Okay.
And kind of, if that makes any sense, like do the play and then be like, hold on. That's really not what happened. I lied the first time. I didn't really tell you all the details. Like, this is why this really sucked. Do you know what I mean?
Have you talked about doing a staged reading up there?
No. I want to have it finished, and I want to, I have dropped hints to theaters here in Cincinnati, and they've all been like, that's really great. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Someone is going to produce this play.
I've seen your work at the Human Race in Dayton. Any chance could go down there?
I really want to start it with Cincinnati because I talk about, I'm from Cincinnati, the Paris of the Midwest, a town that combines the dazzle of Akron and the old world charm of Toledo and Oldstown.
That's awesome.
And then I talk about, going to performing arts and finding kids that were just like
What
me.
about even the No Theater? Could you do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know those people yet. Like I'm still, I've been here a few years, but I still haven't, I think people have said to me, well, send it to me. And I'm like, it's just not finished. It's just not, I have recordings of it. I got it professionally videotaped or taped or whatever. So I have things to show, but I'm just not ready to, somebody will produce it. I really know people.
Well, no, I
will.
need to get to the bottom of this. So wait a minute, you have recordings of what you've done in the past. You have a revised version that's not completely done.
It's in the works.
In process. And you feel like you need to get it in front of some people to work some of this stuff out?
I think what I need to do is, I think that people have heard about it, they know about it, but they haven't really seen it.
Well, how can they see it?
Well,
If you won't show them the...
Right. I think what I need to do is finish it and then invite some people in the industry and say, I'm going to do a live reading of this show. Come and see it because someone's going to produce it. Wouldn't it be great if it
Well,
was
because
you?
Randy just did a reading, I think, of the musical. We had Randy Donaldson on, and he's working on this musical, and they did a reading, I think, up at the Playhouse.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know anything
I
about that.
literally think in the past week or so, I mean, it's been very recently. It's like anything. You have to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've been in front of people with that play for so many years.
But you've changed a lot now.
I have
Yeah.
changed. But I want to do a full-out show. I want to do the show. Music is a big part of the characters.
Okay. So we need to lean on Brando, is what you're saying.
Well, there's
Right.
just, some things.
It's Brando's
We want to help you.
fault.
We want to help you. We're trying to get to the bottom of how
Yeah.
can we help you get this.
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
I'm listening to everything you guys are saying, and you're absolutely right. Brando hasn't written any of the new music. He hasn't, it needs to be updated in a way that I feel like,
Brando works quick.
yeah.
He's a quick worker. He knocked out our
He
theme
did a
song
great
like this,
job with
so-
our theme
I
music.
mean, it's like
Did
that.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Slap that out.
We both need to do something to update this a little bit. But I do have like some famous people doing voiceovers in it. There's a lot of love that went into it because it was in the middle of Mookie Jam, which was like all these artists coming together to help with my play as well.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So,
Well, let's get this thing up and
Yeah.
running.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get it out.
And then
into the
let
world.
us know what we can do. Yeah, definitely. Of the three of us, we're not without talent and
No, I know.
resources,
I know
so-
you guys are awesome. I think what would happen if I do a reading, people are like, you should do it, but change all this. And I just don't know if I want to. I think I just want to
You
do
don't
the
have
show.
to listen to
Okay,
anybody. You don't have to
yeah.
listen to anybody.
When have you ever done
When
that?
have you
Yeah.
listened to anybody?
That's true. That is
Exactly.
true.
If there's 20 things that come out of it, maybe one goes, okay, yeah, I can
Yeah.
turn that little knob. But
Yeah.
more importantly, I think it's you reading
Yeah.
the audience rather than us telling you what people think about it. When
Right.
you're performing that, you'll know, hey, this new section, did that play?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you kind of have to put it in front of people to go, did that work the way that I wanted? Did it have the...
I should give you guys copies of the original.
We'll do,
When I was the 2000, but 2000, it was during, oh my God, yeah, it was during 9/11 is when I opened the show the
That's
first time.
2001.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
That would be almost
Dang.
25
See
years.
why
Yeah.
music needs to be updated?
Yeah.
That bad boy gonna be dusty, man. You gotta get that dust off, man.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah.
You know?
No, I know. But it's.
But what
I
else?
really-
What else you got? What else you got cooking? Or plugs or like causes? I know animals are very important to you, and
I take care of animals. I just had my first bird survive
Oh, nice.
and joined the flock.
Join the flock. What's that mean?
Well, because usually,
Yeah, is that a euphemism for something?
well,
or-
it's when you find a baby bird that's like dying and it doesn't have a mother,
Right.
you know that it could probably not work.
Yeah.
And then you have to
Most
reintroduce
times it
them.
doesn't work,
Right.
actually, yeah.
And then you have
Yeah.
to reintroduce that animal into the wild. And they have rehabilitators who actually
Right.
do that. But spring in Cincinnati, they're like, there's no room at the inn. Like, you do it or don't. So I was really worried that this little bird was going to depend on me for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this can't happen. I have 3 cats. My husband will kill me. He shits all over. It's going to be bad.
These cats are going to kill this
They're
bird.
going to kill. No, they were afraid of him because he was loud. He's like, "Meh." So I just.
Animal kingdom at
It was
work.
crazy. It was crazy. So I got him to be outside. I got a cage. I got him to go outside. He learned to go back and forth to the cage. He would come and sit on my shoulder, sit on my hat.
What kind of bird
give
are we
him worms.
talking about here?
He's just a little starling.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
but they live in group. They
Yeah,
like to be in groups.
Absolutely.
So for 4 days, he went back and forth to visit me. I'd call him, and he'd come flying towards me like, "Oh, I can barely fly." And then the next day, he did not join me. He joined his flock.
Oh,
So
outstanding.
they took him in.
Congratulations. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So I was really. I'm not going to say that I don't go out there and still like he'll be like, "Little Wing, where are you, Little Wing?"
Yeah.
Like a mother that's turned his
I
kid
know.
didn't come
I'm
home to
like, "Are
visit.
you-" Yeah, and then I hear some bird, and I'll say to Brando, "I think Little Wing's out there looking for me." I say, "Little Wing is not looking for you. Little Wing is gone." But
And you're familiar with Rex's wife Wendy's organization,
yes.
Roar. Yeah,
yes. When is the next event?
It is October 5th.
Oh, it's going to be in October.
Yeah,
Was it
October
in
5th.
summer
Okay.
last year?
It was in September, end of September. So it's
Was
always, it's a fall festival. So,
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
October
there.
5th from 1 to 4.
We are there.
Yeah, great.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody should go.
Yeah, it's a
Well-
neat event, and we're going to get Tim and Tracy into town one of these days for it.
You would
Oh yeah,
love it.
I might. Yeah, that's that. There might be a possibility that first week, but we're still working out details. But one question I ask all of our guests, Mierka, is Cincinnati has a rich history and tradition of sports. And if you were to wear a
Kind
jersey,
of look on her face, Tim.
if you were to wear a jersey, what name would be on the back of that jersey?
Joe Concepcion.
That would be Dave Concepcion.
Davey?
Dave.
Davey.
Yeah, Dave
He conflated them with,
Awesome.
well, it's infield, conflated it with Joe Morgan.
our
So
first-
it's
it's our
Joe
first
Morgan and
awesome.
Davey
You
Concepcion. Yeah.
merged Davey
I
and
love
Joe
it.
Morgan together,
Yeah.
which would be a
Yeah.
hell of a player, by the way.
Phew, imagine that. Yeah.
Well,
And
I
why does that come? Why is that so?
Well, my grandfather was a big sports fan, and he would watch football and listen to baseball in his ear. So it was really weird.
Oh, wow.
But he would always be like, "Concepcion!" Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know who that guy is, but he sounds amazing.
And like, was he in Serbian?
No, I don't know, but I saw him on TV, and he was very handsome. And I was like, Concepcion is really handsome. And then I was
Yeah.
like, I love Concepcion. And people were like, "Do you like baseball?" No. Have you
That's
ever been
awesome.
to a game? No. But I
No,
love
yeah.
him. I love
Yeah.
Concepcion.
There you go.
Outstanding.
That's awesome.
Davey,
Yeah.
Davey's
Beautiful.
You're the first Davey
Wow,
Concepcion. That's
yeah.
great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But I did meet Pete Rose and Johnny Bench, though, at Perkins.
Oh,
Not
I
the
need
one,
more.
in, the one in Clifton.
Which Perkins we need more?
Yeah.
Dude, by the Western Roll-A-Rama, the Perkins up there.
What in the
Was it just
hell?
the two of them having coffee and
No,
and
they
pie?
did an event.
They have the Grand Slam.
They weren't there at the same time, but my papa was seriously baseball fan, so he was like, we're going to Perkins. We're going to be there at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
My God.
And I was like, what's going on? They're like, you're going to meet Johnny Bench. I was like, I don't know who that is, but they have pancakes. That's cool.
Well, that's how the Grand Slam breakfast got
Right,
its name.
right.
Yeah.
It's not?
The Grand Slam was at Denny's.
Oh, well, whatever.
Exactly.
One breakfast restaurant,
Got
whatever.
Ron.
It's like
Yeah.
Denny's.
RT, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the next guy was Pete Rose. He did it, and then all like my uncle was like a kid.
So you separately went back and saw Pete.
Oh yeah, we had to go back, and we were like,
Wait, so
Yeah.
what the hell is going on with this
on the
restaurant
west
that's bringing in
I don't know.
Rose and Johnny Bench?
All I know is that it was Perkins, and it was back in the day, and they
Yeah.
had waffles and butter and stuff, and I was down. And my papa was like, "Are you ready, kid?" And I was like,
Let's go.
"Concepcion,
All
let's
right.
go."
All right.
That's awesome.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Davey.
it was pretty, but I don't know anything else about those guys.
Number 13. One of the
That's
first Venezuelan players, I think, in the league. Certainly one.
Oh,
of the
he's Venezuela. Okay,
Yeah.
But Pete Rose, didn't he gamble or something and get in trouble?
Yeah, he had
A little bit,
yeah.
A little history.
He
little
wasn't
bit.
from Venezuela, though.
No, because
Just
I
a
remember
little
my
bit.
grandma being like, "Well, he did," and my grandpa was like, "It doesn't matter. We're going to Perkins."
Well, he was from
But
the West
also,
Side.
what's,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
key is West Side, baby.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
He's West Side.
Okay, we're gonna get your one-woman show off the ground
Let's
again.
do it.
Let's
Yeah.
relaunch it. Jesus is gonna visit Kentucky, or what was our title? Now?
Jesus on the Bridge to Kentucky.
Jesus on the
On the bridge to Kentucky. I
We
love
gotta
it.
work
was.
with Brando. At least it's got to be the opening song.
And
Matthew,
mean-
can that be the title of this episode?
There's the Bridge of Kentucky.
Sure can.
it's in my back.
The NattyCast is proudly brought to you by Pago Lago Productions. The show is hosted by Tim Barker, Rex Stull, and Ron Thomas. Produced and edited by Matthew Lake and associate produced by Ethan Spanja. Special thanks to Sadie Kern at Pop Gun Flow for the graphics and to Brando Triantafilu for the original theme song. Feel free to follow us at _NattyCast on Instagram or head to our website, thenattycast.com. You can get this show wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time.